Alright guys, we're back with the Acid Rain Mustang here. And I want to show you guys this battery monitor. This thing's pretty handy, and quite honestly, everyone should have one of these. I got one of these in my Lincoln, because my Lincoln doesn't really have a proper charge gauge on it. Now, the Mustang does have a charge gauge, but in my opinion, you really want digital accuracy. So, there's basically a couple things I use this for. And number one use that I use it for is to monitor my charging system accurately. And the number two reason would be to verify if this is key off hot. So right now, got no key in there. So, plug this in there. Now, as you can see, it came on. Flip you guys around. So, you're probably thinking like, well, who cares? Well, who cares is, if you see my SP3 video, and you see this little hookup here, the 12 volt accessory plug, that's a pretty handy way to hook up your battery maintainer. So, this is a really fast and easy way to check one of these outlets, because some of these outlets they're key off cold. So what that means is you'd have to have the key on to get power. So if you were to try to charge it with this maintainer, it's not going to charge without the key on. And you really don't want to charge the battery with the key on. You're kind of defeating the purpose, because you'd have power to the vehicle turned on. So the other thing I like to use this for is monitoring the charging system. So let me get this going here. I'll show you how that works. Alright, got the key. Now right now, I've got my Mustang connected to the SC1, and actually that green light just came on, so that means it triggered a charge cycle. And you notice, jumping up, 1390, hitting 14. So that maintainer is charging. So that's another thing you can use this for if you're trying to verify whether or not your battery maintainer is charging. So like, since I've got the maintainer hooked up to the battery under the hood, I can come in here and plug this in and double check it without using a multimeter. So I was going to trigger the key to get that thing to fire the maintainer, but as luck would have it. Now see, that light's off, so the maintainer stopped. So you see we're back down to 1285. So that's this maintainer, that's actually a Schumacher SC1, and that's a 0.75 amp, and I've got it. I'm doing really good with like upside down stuff today, aren't I? So that's what it looks like, but my plugs are upside down for whatever reason, so I plug it in upside down. But anyways, you know, a lot of these new Schumacher battery maintainers, they're eco-friendly, which means that, you know, like the old school maintainers, like this one up here, this one will float the voltage at like 13 or 1330. So these newer chargers, they don't hold a float voltage, which makes them more energy efficient. So whereas that old school charger I just showed you, that thing's gonna just sit there and kick out 13 volts as long as it's plugged in. Now these newer Schumacher chargers, they're energy efficient, so it's going to provide that charge, and then when it senses that the battery's fully charged, it's not gonna like give you a true float on the voltage. It's gonna drop off. It's just gonna not charge. So right now, just sitting here, I'll try maybe hitting the brakes will be enough draw to trigger this thing. So I'll hit the brakes. And you can see it's dropping. And that triggered a charge cycle. So that maintainer is just going to bring it back up to 14. It's going to monitor how charged the battery is, and then it's just going to switch off again. So yeah, this thing's pretty awesome. So I'll show you the other thing you can do with this thing when the vehicle's running, and maybe I'll show you in the Lightning, so I don't have to do this, because you're probably all getting sick. Give you some G-lock here. Alright guys, in the Lightning here, fire this thing up. So this is what I really like to use this battery monitor for. You know, you get a nice digital readout of your charging system's voltage. So like on this Lightning, I've got temperature, I got boost, I got you know, fuel capacity and oil pressure. So this vehicle has a dummy light for the alternator. So using this, I can get a real-time voltage reading of what that alternator is putting out, which can be a pretty big advantage. So perfect example, I used to have a 1999 Ford Escort ZX2, and the accessory plug on that car was key off cold, so I would just keep this plugged in all the time. So I get in the car, start it up, and this would come online, and then I'd turn it off and this thing would go blank. So like in my Lincoln, I have to take it out every time because that thing stays hot constantly. So it worked out pretty good in the Escort because it would come on and off with the car. So anyways, years ago I was cruising around in my Escort, and I just happened to glance down at that thing, and I noticed it was at like, you know, 1230. I was like, 1230, that's wrong. You know, you figure when you're cruising, your voltage should be somewhere between 1350 and 1440. So I thought, man, you know, I got something going on here with the alternator. And the funny part was, you know, that car, it's got a dummy light for the battery, for the alternator, and the light hadn't come on. And quite honestly, the car was like running perfectly. I mean, I would have had no clue that the alternator had died if I had not had this. So this thing literally saved me from getting stranded and saved me the cost of getting towed. So I mean, think about that. This thing is super handy to have. And especially if you got younger drivers, you got teen drivers or whatever, I mean, anybody's going to benefit from something like this. You know, teach them how to use it, teach them what voltage, and it even gives you the display. You know, you got your color-coded LEDs. You know, green means good, yellow means it's getting low, and red means it's bad. Alright, let me give you a quick example of this thing. Shut it down. Watch the voltage drop. So I'm going to turn on the headlights. Get the parking lights, the headlights on. See, it's showing you that the battery's getting low. And then you hit 12 volts and it tells you it's dead. So I'll turn the lights back off, take the draw off the battery. See, she starts climbing back up. Go ahead and start her up. So we know the alternator's charging at 1430. It's good voltage. So super simple, easy to use. Could literally save you from getting stranded, save you the cost of a tow. This thing's awesome. So check it out, guys. I got it linked in the description. Pick one up, man. This thing could really save your bacon someday. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope that helped you out. Give you a little battery tip. Save you from getting stranded. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next one.